this year so far has given you a serious case of sequelitis, don't worry, there's more. Welcome to Jurassic World,
the worst film of the series so far.
Right. Today, for the first time ever, we have set up a debate review with the hope of minimising rude interruptions. The way this debate works is that my opinion is already set for the conclusion of this review.
My job is to convince him that he's wrong, and if he can't refute my arguments, he's going to have to change the outcome.
All set? Let's begin. 1993's Jurassic Park was a game-changing special effects-fueled blockbuster from none other than Steven Spielberg that had sufficient brains and character building to back up the visuals.
It's an untouchable classic. Go on.
After a couple of less appreciated sequels that appeared in the late 90s and early 2000s, the series seemed to come to a halt.
And now along comes Jurassic World to remind us why it should have stayed that way.
Okay, unless you have some spoiler-free evidence to back up your claims, I suggest you give me a chance to speak.
Well, let's start with the lazy writing. The whole film is set in the actual theme park. You know, the one that the first film proved should never exist. I mean, how can you completely disregard the first film like that?
I'll stop you right there. I'd argue that the move to actually open the park is quite clever. It's actually realising the potential of an idea from the original. And you say they dismissed the first film. What about all the meta-humour, the constant Easter eggs and references to the original?
It's just lazy fan service.
Lazy? I'd call it taking a risk. They're going out of their way to relate to fans of the original without interrupting the flow of the story. I thought a lot of the referential humour was enjoyably tongue-in-cheek.
Or foot in mouth, rather. I don't think they really knew what to say, so they just slapped a blatant reference on and hoped for the best.
No, it was clever and tastefully handled. Surely you can't complain about the use of John Williams' rousing themes.
It was terribly underutilised. I mean, they should have got the man himself to do the whole score. 1 second you get the dun 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 dun, and all is well, and then all of a sudden it disappears, and there's this jarringly unfamiliar music.
Granted, Michael Giacchino's music here isn't quite as memorable as those themes, but it's certainly solid underscoring. Perhaps I would have liked a little more Williams, but Giacchino provides the film with all the rhythms, timbres and harmonies that it requires. Maybe, on repeat viewings, the score will stand out, who can say?
Alright, so the music wasn't so bad, but what about more important things like story and character?
Well, I was pleasantly surprised by the film's plotline. The choice to open up the park adequately widened the scope, and the shift to genetic modification was a logical step. But rather than just blandly sit on logical extensions of the first film, there are many satisfying twists and turns. It actually succeeds in having you guessing what will happen next.
Okay, name one satisfying twist.
That would require me to give away spoilers.
Well, you could tell people who haven't seen it to put their fingers in their ears.
Alright, do as he says. Okay, how about the moment in which the new dinosaur confuses the heat signals and convinces the characters to go inside the glass cage to inspect it? Both the characters and the audience are deceived, and the suspense works wonderfully.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad actually.
And as for the characters, I'm sure you've prepared a spiel on how lacking in development they are.
Well, yeah, because it's true.
Fair enough. But did you find either of the leads uninteresting? Did they fail to engage you?
Well, no, but
And Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard had good chemistry, right?
I guess, but they don't have much of a story arc.
I would say that their unique roles, their action and dialogue gives you a good sense of who they are and what motivates them. Director Colin Trevorrow actually makes you care enough so that when the tension hits, it actually works.
Except there's nothing quite as inventive as that scene from the original with the tremors in the glass of water.
No, but I'm not saying it was as good as the original. And people shouldn't expect it to be. The original was an amazing experience, but Jurassic World was still a journey worth taking.
Hey, you wrapped that up way too quickly. I didn't get enough time to say what I'd prepared.
We're running out of time. Let's face it, you weren't going to change my mind. Look, I'm not going to lie, some of you will be disappointed by this film. But if you go in with a cautious amount of optimism like I did, you're likely to go along for the ride. I certainly had a lot of fun with Jurassic World, and I hope you do too.
I'm just really cheesed off now.
What can you do?
I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to annoy the crap out of you in your next review.
Oh joy!